Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. So inshallah tonight we'll continue in TAFSEER Surah Abasa, part 2 inshallah. Yeah, let me read the ayah inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. كلا لما يقض ما أمره فلينظر الإنسان إلى طعامه أنا صببنا الماء صبا ثم شققنا الأرض شقا فأنبتنا فيها حبا وعنبا وقضبا وزيتونا ونخلا وحدائق غلبا وفاكهة وأبا متاعا لكم ولأنعامكم فإذا جاءت الصاخة يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه وجوه يومئذ مسفرة ضاحكة مستبشرة ووجوه يومئذ عليها غبرة ترهقها قترة أولئك هم الكفرة الفجرة. So you've already described from ayah 23. Let me refresh your memory. The surah was revealed when Muhammad sallallahu, the Prophet, was fighting, was talking to the elite, the leaders of Quraysh. It's obvious, when the leader become Muslim, they will give a lot of impact, influence. Yeah. And then a blind man came, and the blind man just yelling, Muhammad, teach me about Islam. Right? So even Rasulullah gave a sign to him, but he did not understand. He was so happy just to hear the Prophet's voice. So the Prophet, he frowned him, his face like this, like he disliked what he did. And then he turned his face. Of course, the blind man didn't see it, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this surah. Don't frown yourself, smile. This is an indication that smiling is very important. And you have to smile to everybody. High class, lower class, right? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk about that why you treat them differently. Even his intention not for himself. He made ijtihad. I know this man, I will take him later. He is among the family of Khadija. But those people, mostly didn't want to listen. This is the big the best opportunity. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have different way, So he like criticized the prophets. But it's not only prophet, for us also. Yeah. And then the ayah talk about that kalla innaha tadhkira. Muhammad, this is only reminder, right? So people need to be reminded of that. And reminder, we mentioned last time, sometimes they benefit you immediately, sometimes take time, sometimes take years. And you remember that reminder, right? Sometimes you get lost in your life, then remember when your father, your mother was teaching you when you was young. It's very important for the parent, to install in the mind of our children from the beginning, from the early age. Even when they went wrong, they will come back again. Like the grass. Even you burn it, when the rain came, they will grow again. Yeah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was amazed for the people who didn't believe in God. قُتِلَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا أَكْفَرَهُ. How you didn't believe? Where he come from? Where was the original? So all this we mentioned in the previous lesson, right? And then he said, كَلَّا لَمَّا يَقْضِ مَا أَمَرَهُ. Right? No, he, i.e., man has not accomplished what he commanded. Brother Sham, are you there? Okay, Mubashir. Mubashir, are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
But has man prepared himself for this reckoning? It would seem that by no means has man fulfilled his bidding. Mankind as a whole, from the very first to the very last, will not have fulfilled God's bidding. This is the inference of the Arabic expression used here, لَمَّا يَقْضِ مَا أَمَرَهُ. Man will always remain negligent of his duties. He will never remember his origins and creation as he should, nor will he thank and praise his Creator who has guided and looked after him as he should be thanked and praised. Man does not prepare himself in this life for the day of reward and retribution. This applies to humanity as a whole. In addition, the great majority of people arrogantly turn their backs on divine guidance.
So the ayah said, Kalla lamma. Nay. Kalla means to deny before. Lamma means not yet. If I say I don't eat yet, so ana lamma akul. Yagdi means make decision. Ma amara was commanded. So ulama have the opinion that mean before we come to this earth, we have an agreement with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we are in the world of spirit, right? Nobody, our bodies not exist yet. Allah call us. This in Surah Al-A'raf. Alastu bi rabbikum. Hey, am I not your Lord? And we on that time said, Ya qalu bala shahidna. Yes, we are witness. That means when I live on this earth, I promised, oh Allah, I'm going to worship you. So therefore, when you pray, you said, Iyyaka na'budu, you alone do we worship. That means what? You renew your oath agreement with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you did not pray, that means what? You broke the promise with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, until men die, most people did not accomplish the agreement with me, that man did not worship Allah properly. Right? Or it means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not decide yet, not the end of this word. Yeah, so it could be have two meanings. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked us to reflect about what you do every day. فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَىٰ طَعَامِهِ. Then let the human being look at his food. Yeah, Bashir.
Next, this verse invites man to reflect upon his food and that of his cattle, which is one of the great many things God has provided for him. Let man reflect on the food he eats. Food, the first necessity of human life, deserves a few thoughts. It is made readily available day after day, but behind all this is a simple and wonderful story. Yet, such simplicity makes man forget its wonder. Nevertheless, it is as miraculous as man's own creation. Every step is determined by the supreme will that creates man.
Have you been, one day that you sit down with your family and you see all type of food, and Falyandur, he said, look, for somebody of you today, what did you eat today? Support with beef. Can you imagine that? This beef live for what? Maybe 2 years. And then slaughter it, So live for 2 years, eat and drink and sleep. What for? Right? For your lunch today. If you eat lamb today, the same. This lamb for live for what? Maybe 6 months. 6 months sleep and drink just to feed you for one lunch, or chicken, or whatever. Right? No. Allah asks us to think. I would like to, inshallah, one day to sit down with your family and look into the food that you eat. One by one. Think, reflect. Yeah. At least we eat three meal, right, every day. If you eat bread, for example, subhanallah, how many people serve you from the beginning, right? If you eat vegetables, you eat everything that you eat. You eat banana, tomato, yeah, Allah. And also, all of this come from the same soil, from the earth, from the same water. How it is they come out different? Oh, look at this, different foods, the same place. Yeah, Allah. So make a custom, sit down on the table and just reflect before you eat about all the food we're going to eat. Yeah, because that can bring you to Allah. You will say, Alhamdulillah. Who make all this color? If all the colors same, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not only make the food different taste, sour, bitter, sweet, but also a color that attract you. Yeah. How come from the same water, from rain, and also from the same soil, it come out a different taste and different color. Yeah. Again, also let's let it look. And also the ulama said, before you eat, look, it is halal or haram. Not just eat, because what you eat. What you eat. What you eat will affect you. If you don't care about the food you eat, will affect your worship, affect your behavior, your akhlaq. Yeah. So be careful. Yeah. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Anna sababna al-ma'a sabba. How we poured down water, torrents. Bashir?
The pouring rain is a fact known to every human being, wherever he lives, regardless of his level of experience or knowledge. It is therefore taken up in this address to all human beings. This is how the production of food starts. We pour down the rain in torrents. No one can claim either to have produced water at any stage of its formation, or to have caused it to be poured, so that the process of food production could be set in motion.
So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to bring us to the original. Where did this food come from? Right? Anna sababna, we pour down water. Allah. Right? Because we are not a farmer. Water for them is most important. When the farmer plant the seed, they're waiting for what? For the water. Right? And some people in some area, they died because there's lack of water. Yeah, this is very interesting. Some people in Africa, there's no water, they died, starving. And the other one, people in the West, they died because too much food. Right? But also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran describe the revelation like the Quran is like rain. When rain fall down, they bring life, the dead land, right? It's the same. The Quran is bring life what? The dead heart. When your heart dead, how to bring back life is the Quran. You know, by pondering the Quran, by opening the Quran, by reading the Quran, right? I mentioned in the khutbah about the story, right? I recording in the video, right? There is a family invited the Imam, because the Imam was single, he didn't have family, for Ramadan iftar. And when his wife made preparation for the food, she forgot to put the money on the table. And then after the Imam left, she couldn't find the money. She asked her husband, "Did you take my money?" He said, "No. There's nobody there. They didn't have kid." Said, "Oh man, the Imam took the money." And his wife asked her husband, "You have to ask him." He said, "No, we didn't take it." You know, so they have, some feeling, they're not good feeling toward the Imam. So you don't want to pray behind the Imam. How I pray with thief Imam. And this past 1 year, Ramadan came again. The next year, the husband said, "This is Ramadan, is the best time to forgive another. Let's forgive the Imam." Invite him again. The wife said, "Okay, with one condition, what? You have to ask the Imam." It's okay. So you feel good. Did he take it or not? Okay, invited him again, and after iftar, the husband said, "I'm sorry, I have to ask a question. Remember last year you were here, yeah, my wife forgot the money on the table, and it's not there when you left." And the Imam cries. He says, "Why are you crying? Why are you crying?" He said, "Yes, I did take it, but I put it in that Quran. They have proof in the Quran there." I said, "Why are you crying?" "I'm crying because for 1 year you didn't open the Quran. 1 year, no Quran. And then when they check his money there, say, oh, please forgive us. For 1 year we accuse you. You were stealing. Please." So don't ask forgiveness from me, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm okay. But you're not okay, you don't open the Quran. Yeah. Because Quran gives us life. Yeah. Without Quran, our heart become dead. Yeah. So look at, sometimes you go outside, look at when the rain come down, right? What the rain produce? The Quran said, ثُمَّ شَقَقْنَا الْأَرْضَ شَقًّا. Then we broke open the earth, splitting it with sprouts. Yeah. Bashir?
Primitive man sees the rain falling and realizes that he has no power over it. He sees the water splitting the earth and penetrating the soil. As human knowledge expands, a new understanding of this statement may be developed. The cleaving of the earth so that it became suitable for vegetation may have taken place a long time ago. The Quranic statement may refer to the multiple breakup of the Earth's surface rocks caused by the great floods and by the various climatic factors, which, according to modern scientists, contributed to the formation of a soil layer where vegetation could grow. This interpretation fits more closely with the sequence of events as it is reported here.
Subhanallah. ثُمَّ شَقَقْنَا الْأَرْضَ شَقًّا. Say, Allah, then we broke open. So who opened it? When the farmer, they plant the seed, right? The seed is very weak, very small. Do you think the seed have power to grow, to push that? Yeah, no. You know, after a while, you see the green come out. Said, who broke that? Broke because you know that leaf. There's no power. Just very and suddenly. And I remember last week we mentioned Fatan Fa'u Dhikra. People sometimes, man, why you have tafsir every week? You know, do you think that people learn, people change? I said, yeah. You know, because this is like the seed. You know, when you remind somebody, you remind your son, your daughter. You know, it's like you put the seed and then it grew slowly, right? And then maybe you died, you leave this earth, but the seed you put it. Because I was thinking about how Yusuf can survive, able to be stand the Siratul Mustaqim, if his father did not put that seed. How Ibrahim became obedient when his father told him that you have to be die. He said, do whatever Allah says to do. Why? Because they already put the seed when you are young. You know, I remember even me when I was mostly, you know, as a young man, when I was in Egypt, there's nobody there. My family is not there. And then sometime I went to Europe, you know, a lot of temptation. But what my parent was installed in my mind, in my heart, about that Allah is watching you and all, that's the only thing that Alhamdulillah can prevent me from all this. Yeah. فَأَنْبَتْنَا فِيهَا حَبًّا, and caused to grow within it grain. وَإِنَبًا وَقَضْبًا, and grapes and herbage. وَزَيْتُونًا وَنَخْلًا, and olive and palm trees.
The third stage is that of the growth of all kinds of vegetation. The kind mentioned here is the best known to the people immediately addressed by the Quran. How we bring forth the corn. The corn refers to all cereals and grains used for human or animal food. The reference here is to the well-known vine fruits and to all vegetables which can be eaten raw and picked time after time. The olive and the palm fruits are well known to all Arabs.
Yeah. Allah said, فَأَنْبَتْنَا. فَأَنْبَتْنَا mean we, Allah, not the seed, right? Cause to grow within the grain. فَأَنْبَتْنَا, grow. Yeah. So that means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knowledge. Allah knows what come down to the earth and what come up. Can you imagine how many millions people put the seed? Allah know which seed. Allah will know with animals who go inside and then come out every second. Yeah. Just look at, for example, you see the wheat. The wheat for people in the West, in the Middle East, you know, this is the main food because all the bread is come from the wheat. And that wheat, you know, if you look at benefit for human being, also for the animal. So it said, وَإِنَّبًا وَقَدْبًا. قَدْبًا means the animal, the food. After you take the wheat and the grass that it, who's going to eat, right? Is the animals. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about the specific was zaytunan, zaytun. In the Quran says zaytun, they call shajarah mubarakah. Min shajaratin mubarakatin zaytunatin la sharqiyatin wala gharbiyah. So therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swear with the zaytun. Wattini was zaytun. Because zaytun is, you know, the fruits that benefits when you eat it, just the zaitun. And also can use for medicine, the oil. Yeah. So therefore Allah SWT didn't say, wa banana, wa rambutan is zaitun. Because, and also very interesting, zaitun, you know, if you have apple, if it's not good from the side, you can use this one and you cut like this. But zaitun is, if you're not good here, the whole is not good. You cannot eat it. Right? So therefore Allah SWT said, after zaitun, and then halaqad khalaqnal insan. So zaitun have connection with human being. Human being have to be good at the whole. You know, something mean, oh man, this man is handsome and good, but his heart, oof, it's not good. Or maybe something opposite. His heart good, but his mouth, man, I cannot be close to him. Right? And then nakhla. Yeah, because this fruit that the Arab know, because the Quran was revealed on that area. Nakhla means the dead palm trees. Right? And that palm tree have the longest tree can live. Some people said, I don't know, true or not, it's 6,000 years and continue give the fruit. You know, banana is not ripe yet, you cannot eat it. But nakhl, the dates, when they're still young, is they call what you call? Al-balah. It's called balah. You can eat balah, right? And then become tamar when this become dark, you know, or brown, right? And then become rutab when it's very soft. Yeah. So therefore, why Prophet Rasulullah said that the believer like that palm tree. Very interesting. Number one, because the Arab they see every day this tree, but never reflect. So Rasulullah invite them to reflect just about the tree. You know, you have similarity. What the similarity? Because everything from this tree is beneficial, right? The leaf used to put as a roof. You know, the first masjid of Rasulullah, the roof is what? Is the leaf of that palm tree. And then the trunk become the pillar for the masjid, for the house at that time. And then, of course, the fruit is good for the house. It said that is what you call the fruit, lot of vitamin and lot of things that beneficial. You can learn it by yourself. Right? Rasulullah mostly eat that and water. And also, this the palm tree, when they become older, the death is also become better. So the believer had to be like that. You become older, you become beneficial more to the others. Right? So therefore, if everything beneficial from this tree, what does it mean? We also have to be the same like that. Our tongue, our thoughts, our action have to benefit the others, like palm trees, right? And also palm tree, there's no season. As I mentioned, you can eat when it was young, middle. So therefore, Muslim have to be no season. Because some Muslim, it become super Muslim in Ramadan. And after Ramadan, bye-bye masjid, bye-bye Quran, right? No, like palm trees, all season. And also, you know, palm tree did not consume too much water like the other three. And also, if there is wind, the storm, they stay firm. That's the believer. They can stay firm with all the temptation they face every day. Yeah. وَحَدَائِقَ غُلْبًا وَفَاكِهَةً وَأَبًّا, and garden of dense shrubbery and a fruit and grass.
Gardens refer to the fenced fields of fruit trees. They are described here as being dense with trees. The Arabic term ab, translated here as green pastures, refers in all probability to the herbage used for cattle.
Yeah. Fakiha is a fruit. You know what? How many type of fruit you know? In Indonesia, we have 50 type of banana. Can you imagine just banana? Imagine the other fruit. Sometimes I don't know with the name. Allah. And all the fruit have different tastes. Wa Abba, Umar asked Ibn Abbas, what is Abba? He said, Abba is the fruit or the food for the animals. How do you know that? He said, did I after that? Mata'allakum wali an'amikum, as enjoyment, provision for you and your grazing livestock for your animal. Yeah. Bashir? Bashir?
This is the story of food, the provision of which is carefully planned by the hand which created man. Man plays no role in any of its stages. Even the seeds and grains he casts on the earth are not of his making. Various seeds may be planted on the same piece of land, irrigated by one kind of water. Yet each produces its own fruit. It is the hand of the Creator which makes the infinite collection of plants and their fruits, and preserves in the little seed the characteristics of its mother plants. The characteristics of its mother plant so that they may reappear in the plant which issues from it. Man remains ignorant of the secrets of this process. He has no power over it. It is God's own production, for you and your cattle to delight in. This delight is, however, for a limited period. There follows something totally different which needs to be carefully considered by man before it actually arrives.
Yeah. You know, the Muslim, the believer should be, they eat and they think. They eat, they learn. They eat to survive, to become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can eat and you consider you get reward. It's considered ibadah. If you before you pray you're hungry, Ya Allah, let me eat first so I can pray in good prayer. You get the word, right? We eat and we say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So don't forget. Because by saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, you acknowledge that all is food from you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But maybe there's food, you don't have appetite. One day a rich man invited people and there's all kind of food. But he only can eat two food. There's two food and the other one. Khalas. From his money. Because he have complicated sickness. The believer, they eat and then thank to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After eat, say, Alhamdulillah, alladhi at'amana, the one who feed me was saqana and gave me water. That's the believer. Yeah. This believer, they eat, they never think about where the food come from. They eat just to fulfill the need, not for ibadah, to fulfill their desire. Yeah. This is the meaning of mata'an lakum. You enjoy by thanking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah. فَإِذَا جَاءَتِ الصَّاخَةُ, but when there is come the divining blessed.
This is the end of all delight and enjoyment. It fits perfectly with the planning and designing which included every stage of man's development. The end portrayed here fits perfectly with the scene at the beginning of the surah, which shows someone coming forward with zeal and with a feeling of fear in his heart, and another considers himself self-sufficient and turns away from divine guidance. Here we have an exposition of their standing in God's view. The stunning blast is the nearest translation of an Arabic term, al-sakha, which carries a very sharp tone. It almost pierces the ears.
Subhanallah. Yeah. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after talk about Abasa, about the da'wah, about how human being, they forget God, negligent, and Allah asked human being to look where they come from, was their original, right? And then talk us to look the food that they eat. That means to think the blessing that Allah gives to them. And then he said, فَإِذَا جَاءَتِ الصَّاخَةُ. Sakha, one of the name of the aged man. Sakha means somebody screaming. Ah! Because Jibril alayhi salam used to destroy the city with the one sayha, like the people of Surah Yasin. Just one screaming and destroy everything. Right? So, in that moment, when people in panic, when people in difficulties, where they're looking for who? For their brothers. Yeah. So now, when you are panicking, you text your brother, you text your mother, everybody they're close to you. But when this moment happened, what happened now? يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه. On the day, man will flee from his brother, and his mother and his father, and his wife and his children. Yeah.
Such ties between a person and his nearest relations cannot be severed in the normal course of events. Yet the stunning blast destroys these very links and throws them up into the air.
Yeah, but look at here, very interesting, the order, right? So the first one is what? A brother. Why brother? Sorry. Why brother? Yeah. Because it could be your father, mother old already. I don't know, I don't know. Right? Your wife, might be woman can help you. Your children might be still young. Yeah. So the first thing you look at what? Your brother, because maybe the same age like you. Right? But your brother said, Nafsi, Nafsi. Myself. Allah. Your mother the same, your father the same. Even if you are fighting between the family, but when you are sick, everybody will come. Everybody will forget what happened before. They will cry to you. Right? If there's fire in your home, everybody will be panicking and try to help one another. But on that day, everybody flee. Not only us, even the prophets. Maryam alayhi salam will forget Isa alayhi salam. Ibrahim, he'll forget his wife Hajar, Sarah, Ismail. Imagine this prophet. The only dua they're going to say, Allahumma, Allah, please save us. Yeah, this is a scary day. So what happened on that day? Because everybody panicked. The sun is very close. Aisha said, when Rasulullah said the people will come out and everybody naked. Naked? He said, man, woman, look at others, at one another. He said, Aisha, no one will pay attention. You know, if somebody was has to be hanged, he's going to die. They put the robber, they're all going to shoot like this, just few seconds, he's going to die. And then beautiful woman passed by and smiling to him. Is she going to pay attention? No. He was thinking what's going to happen now. Yeah. So what happened on that day? Allah said, لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مِّنْهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ شَأْنٌ يُغْنِيهِ. For every man, that day will be matter and a quarter for him.
The fearfulness depicted in this scene is purely psychological. It strikes the soul, isolates it, and holds it in its grip. The result is that each of us will think only of ourselves. None shall have any time or power to think of others. For each one of them will on that day have enough preoccupations of his own. The description is vivid, yet there can be no shorter and yet more comprehensive statement to describe the general condition of worried minds and souls.
Yeah. He said, the mother will come to her son. Said, my dear son, remember I carry you for 9 months. I deliver you with with difficulties. I nurse you, I feed you, I clothe you, I brought you up. Sometimes I couldn't sleep at night when you are sick. Please give me something. But the son said, I wish, Mom, I can. The mother in this life ready to sacrifice for their own son. But on that day, no mother, everybody. Yeah, nafsi, nafsi. Oh, this is, you need to reflect, right? This is the day. You know, even here, sometimes if you have case in the courts, yeah, people want to talk to you. Shh, I need to focus. Because everything, whatever you do, this life like a farmer. What seed you plant, you will see the harvest. This is the end of harvest. Then in the end, I only have two group of people. We'll answer two faces, right? How look like? Wujuhun yawma'idhin musfira. Some faces that day will be bright. Dohikatun mustabshira. Loving, rejoicing at good news. Allah.
When the stunning blast takes place, the condition is universal. Then follows a description of the conditions of the believer and the unbelievers after the two groups have been assigned their values by defined standards and
I couldn't hear you, Moshe.
joyful. These faces being, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
We can hear now.
Okay. When the stunning blast takes place, the condition is universal. Then follows a description of the conditions of the believers and the unbelievers after the two groups have been assigned their values by divine standards and given their respective positions. Some faces on that day shall be beaming, smiling, and joyful. These faces beam with a happiness overflowing with delight. They are hopeful and reassured because they feel that their Lord is pleased with them. These people are spared the terror of the stunning blast, so they can afford to smile and demonstrate their joy. Or probably the smiles and manifestations of happiness are seen after these people have realized the good end awaiting them.
I know. Yeah. So the brothers, so whatever religion you follow, school of thoughts, a group, right? And whoever, you are American, you are Indonesian, you are Indian, you are whatever, right? But in the end, this is your choice. Do you want on that day, your face is bright, laughing, rejoicing, or the opposite? Yeah. So the question is, where's the light come from? Why this the beaming, the face that where did it come from? It's not comes, suddenly, Rasulullah mentioned in the hadith, the light on the day come from what? He said from you're walking to the masjid in the darkness. Rasulullah said, Bashir al-Masha'in fi dulam ila al-masajid bin nuri tam yawm al-qiyamah. Give glad tidings the one who come to the masjid on the darkness, that means Isha and Fajr. Allah, with the complete light day judgment. You are lucky. Also from the wudu, the one who complete the wudu, not just complete the wudu, because wudu have benefit. Every drop wipe out your sin, and they can give mark. From sujud, Allah. So when make sujud, not make sujud like the chicken eating the food. Enjoy your sujud, because they give mark in the judgment, the light. Remember in the hadith said, Rasulullah will be busy on that time because some of his people go to hellfire. Rasulullah going to pick them up. His companions said, Rasulullah, how do you know this? These are the people. He said, Ghuran muhajjalin min athari sujud. This mark, the light come out from this. You don't need to put it like this. Sujud, it will automatically. Right? Ahlul Jum'ah, the one who make preparation for Jum'ah. That means he read kahfi before Jum'ah or at night, and then take shower, come to masjid before the khatib start the khutbah. Allah, they call Ahlul Jum'ah. Allah will welcome in the judgment like a groom. So be careful, make special Jum'ah, because a lot of people, they come Jum'ah, almost finish the khutbah. And they don't pay attention. Jum'ah look like, but if they are meeting with Mr. John, Mr. David on time, you have appointment with lawyer, with doctor before the time you come. So Jum'ah is your appointment with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why you ignore? Why you don't pay attention? And then in the judgment will be no one welcome you. Right? Reading Surah Al-Kahfi. You give light for 2 weeks from Jum'ah to Jum'ah. Right? This in the hadith. Nurun. Right? Sadaqah. Sadaqah to diya, give sadaqah. Feeding the hunger. So people who work in the social thing, right? Feeding the other, helping. Or you make somebody smiling. He was desperate, need somebody to entertain him, to cool him down. And you come and you make them happy, and he's smiling. Oh, that smiling can give light also, the judgment. So you have to be prepared. If not, this is what happened, right? وَوُجُوهُ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَلَيْهَا غَبَرَةٌ. And other faces, that they will have upon them dust. تَرْهَقُهَا قَطَرًا. Blackness will cover them.
Such faces are covered with the dust of sadness and misery, darkened with humiliation and depression. They know what they have done in this life, and they await their inevitable punishment.
No. May Allah protect us, inshallah. Alayha ghabara, like a dust. They were scared, they was ashamed. And they remember what they did. And they not blame anybody. Tarhaquha qatara. Blackness will cover them. That means sorrow and humiliation. In this life, maybe you can ask for something for help. You can change your status, what happened. You can pay the lawyer. but on this days, impossible, right? And who are they? أولئك هم الكفرة الفجرة. Those are the disbelievers, the wicked ones. Yeah.
These people are devoid of faith. They do not believe in God or in the divine message. Moreover, they are hardened in their erring and sinful ways. They persistently violate divine commandments. The destiny of each group is portrayed in their faces. It is a vivid portrait drawn with words and expressions, a fact which testifies to the immense power characteristic of the Quranic style. The opening and the close of the surah are in perfect harmony. The opening lays down a fundamental principle and a general standard, and the close shows us the results of applying this standard. The surah is a short one, yet it states a number of major facts and principles, portraying a large number of scenes, utilizing different rhythms. Furthermore, the style brings out these images in full relief.
Yeah. So, the brothers, this is the we need to really reflect, right? I would like to share with you a story about, because everything starts by the beginning when you're going to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how do you die? Because death is a small, they call small qiyamah, small qiyamah. You know, there is a nurse in Indonesia. She shared with us her experience how people die. Yeah, she said one day a man going to die, and his family is there. When his family asked him to say La ilallah Muhammad Rasulullah, said, my money, my money, my money, my money, please keep my money, protect my money. Maybe under the bed like this. And then he died. And then she said that another one is a woman, a lady. You know, before she died, she asked to turn on the special song that she liked it. And then when the turn on the song and she put her hand like this, like she would follow the song, like dancing. When the family turn off and turn on the Quran, she's screaming, stop it, stop it. And then she died when she listening to music. My teacher long time told me that he was attending Sakaratul Maut, moment of death of somebody was screaming like somebody was beating him. You know why? Because he liked to put a statue in his house, lot of statue. Difficult even to when the straw come out until the Imam destroy all the statue at home. Yeah. And then the dirt come out from every hole of his body. But also she had very good story experience. It said they saw a lady before she died. She asked the nurse to bring her water. She made wudu, right? And then she asked to put the hijab. I said, don't worry, nobody, no man here. I said, no. I saw a guest coming, a lot of guests, right? And she died. Yeah. And also, when I went Hajj a few years ago, there's an American who became Muslim, married with Indonesian sister. And alhamdulillah, during the Hajj, he never complained. You know, but most of the people, they complain about the food, about the weather, about the treatment and all this. He never complained. Even in airplane, he told me, said, I designed this airplane. Right. Alhamdulillah, he was good in good health. But when he was going to Hajj, it was in Mina, you know, she have like complicated. And very interesting, I was giving, every after Salat, we giving lecture in Mina. He was sitting on a wheelchair at the time. He was very sick. On that time, I did not pay attention. I saw the black of his eyes go up. The Prophet Muhammad said, the sign that people are going to die, like a few hours before, you see the black man go up because they're going to follow his spirit when they leave the body. I realized that after he died. So I continue to give a lecture, and my wife texts me that I have to go to hospital. His name was George. I went there in Mina. And doctor made a CPR with him. So I asked doctor, there's hope. He said no. So I brought his wife, and enjoyed like this. And he said, George said, La ilaha illallah. Subhanallah, wearing ihram, his face was so bright. I cannot hear, but I can see his lip. He passed away. So in the day of judgment, when he come out from the grave, she's going to wearing that hijab. He going to say, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. Yeah, Allah. Yeah. When I told the story to a friend of mine, he is also a travel agent of Hajj. He said, I have another story. One Canadian, both is mu'allaf, both just convert Allah, but they are lucky. He said, we was making sa'i, and then number 6, we are in Safa. So this American friend who joined with him said, I am so tired, I just take rest. He said, one more. I know, but I just wait here, and then, okay, don't go. You stay here, okay? Because during Hajj, difficult to find people. So he continued with the group, make dua in Marwa, and come back to pick him up. And he was done like this. And he said, come on. And he passed away. He passed away and also wearing the what? Yeah. So we have to ask question, how are we going to die? Because when and where is not important. And we can decide how we die. Especially the moment that before time of death. Right? Yeah. Before yesterday, there's a house has been burned. And one of his son, he used to come to my class, his name Jibril, 14 years old, burned, passed away in the hospital. Right? So therefore, to have that bright, joyful face, we had to prepare for it. Rasulullah said people are going to die according to his habit, what he used to do before the moment of death. He said that when Allah loves somebody, Allah give him tawfiq, like encouragement to do a lot of good deed, right? But we don't know when. So therefore my advice, number one, try to avoid to hurt anyone. Anyone. Especially your parent. Make good relation with your parent. Take care of your parent. Right? Make dua for them, ask dua from them. Also, make sure you don't cut off any relationship with your family. Yeah. Be nice to everybody. Read Quran regularly. Make dhikr. Because when you used to read Quran, dhikr, so that moment of death, the angel love you. It will be easy for you. You have to follow it. Yeah. And the last one, always make dua. Allahumma inna as'aluka husnal khatimah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give me good end. Or dua, Rasulullah read a lot. Ya muqallibal qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dinik. Yeah. So brothers, so that's the surah, but we have a conclusion. Mubashir is still there. What did we learn today?
The ideas set forth in the short and meaningful verses of this surah are a good collection for individuals to use as a guidance to self-perfection. 1. On the one hand, it leads man to refer to the origin of his creation to understand how he was created from a lowly sperm drop in order that he should not be proud, because one of the greatest hindrances on the path of self-perfection is pride.
Yeah, be careful. Shaitan, he believed in God. He believed in their judgment. But Allah put hellfire because of pride. He feel he's perfect. So never ever, always be humble.
2. On the other hand, it introduces the divine leadership to man as the best provision of his way, including both the Prophet's guidance, originating from revelation, and the guidance led by rational thinking and the observation in the regularity of the created world. 3. Then it orders man to look to his food, to see how it is created and prepared for him by the beneficent and the merciful Creator, and then to obey him in humility. Man should be careful to obtain his food lawfully, because pure and lawful food is an important basis for self-perfection.
Yeah, the first always reflect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the food that you eat. Don't forget Alhamdulillah. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And don't waste your food. But also make sure when you buy something, you look at the ingredient, this is very important. Yeah, I remember that Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he tried to vomit everything when he know the food from his servant. His servant not Muslim. He said, I'm ready to kill myself. Then I eat this food. Right? Because the Prophet said, if the body was grew up from haram food, there's no fit for that body except what? The Jahannam. Yeah. Yeah, last one.
4. When he must be careful about his bodily food, then he should be careful about his soul's sustenance, to see that it is not from a corrupted source, that which threatens his spiritual life.
It's very important because some brother make sure he eat halal meat. Make sure halal, okay? But his income not from halal. Right? Allah is good, only accept what is good. Yeah? Yeah. Okay.
5. One should remember that the deafening cry will rise up all from their graves, and everyone will be faced with one's record. Then the circumstances there will be so awful that one will forget all of one's dearest beloved. One should think about one's acts, whether they be so good that one will deserve to have a laughing, rejoicing, and bright face that day, or whether one will have an ugly, black, and frowning face, then and thus will cause oneself to prepare for that day.
So we hope that we are in the first group, inshallah. We have bright, light face. Yeah. We have husna khatima, inshallah. Read dua, Bashir.
O Lord, make each of us successful in self-perfection. O Lord, do not deprive us from a good sustenance for our spirits. O Lord, make us conscious of our duties to fulfill them before the occurrence of the deafening cry.
Ameen, inshallah. Yeah. So there is no class next week. Inshallah, see you February 14th, the following week, inshallah. الحمد لله حمدا يوافي نعمك يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي جل وجهك وعظيم سلطانك اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا وعلى اصحابه اجمعين اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وقنا عذاب النار اللهم اجعل خير عمرنا آخره وخير عملنا خواتمه وخير أيامنا يوم نلقاك فيه إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. اللهم إنا نسألك حسن الخاتمة باللطف والعافية. اللهم ارفع عنا البلاء والوباء واحفظنا من كورونا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. And also make dua for a brother who owned the restaurant in, I think, in Kent. Yeah? The husband is Pakistani and the wife is sister, Indonesian sister. You know, Tina, I think her name. So they have accident. Yeah, but they are okay. But they have to make dua for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them shifa, siha wal afiyah, inshallah. Right. And also we would like to send condolence for Sister Nicole, who her son was have accident burn and passed away in the hospital. You know, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him as gurratu ainin for her endangerment, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum assalam and jazakumullah khair, Sheikh Joban.
Alaikum salam.
Assalamualaikum.